Heck yeah, it's the old Saturday morning here, and just getting the process of getting this truck all tidied up so I can pack my little suitcase and head over to the airport. But man, I had this crazy dream last night that I worked at this place where people like care about me and like pay me a bunch of money to do something that's really easy and a lot of fun. And then I woke up and I was like, oh dang, that's not even a dream, that's my life. But you want to know what else was my life this morning? I woke up and I felt like Leo DiCaprio in that Revenant movie. Like I was all iced over and shit like that because yeah, it got super cold last night and I didn't turn like the bunk heater on account of it wasn't that cold when I fell asleep. And then yeah, I was all frozen up. I was about ready to like cut a horse open and crawl inside or whatever he did, that old Hugh Glass Revenant dude. But I found an easier option. I didn't have to go that drastic. I just turned the truck on. So I'm warm now. No need to fear. I guess I'll check in with you guys as the day progresses. But you already knew that. You knew I was going to do that anyway. So I'll check in with you in a minute. I'm just wondering, maybe I overstuffed the old suitcase there. Not so good at this packing deal. Wish my wife was here to do it for me. Gosh darn it. Oh, choices. Choices have to be made. Some things don't make the cut. Some things have to stay here in Redmond so I can come retrieve them again. Some things get to go with me on the airplane. It's okay. I will return. And I will consume you, my sweet honey bunches of oats. Mwah! Till we meet again. Ooh, hey, Joe, are you watching? I hope you are, because I've got some great news for you, buddy. You're about to have a new microwave. Yeah. Let's see if I can do the pointing thing. Right there. It's right there. It's your microwave. The stuff behind it, though, don't touch it. That's my stuff. But you can take the microwave. All you gotta do is walk in the shop, and then you'll see one of the guys, and you'll be like, hey, there's a microwave up there for me. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, let me drop everything I'm doing and help you go find it. No, they're not going to do that. They're just going to be like, whatever, man. If you do, you do. So you just come up here and you get it. Pretty sweet, huh? Yo, we just went and hit up the old Panda Express there, and I always look forward to my fortune cookie. I don't eat it. I just like kind of smash it on the table, and then I go in and I pick through all the pieces to find my fortune, and then I throw the rest away, like, because this is America and that's what we do. Well, I went ahead and smashed this on the table there, and there's no fortune. No fortune.
You're gonna die.
I'm straight up unfortunate. So there's that. Day's going pretty good.
Used to having a lot of shit. Grace is not one of them.
So Titus here, he got himself a fortune, and it says words on it. Your grace will touch a stranger today. What's funny about that is when we were leaving the old Pan Express there, Titus, he damn near plowed over a guy. It was graceful as hell. So I guess this fortune is true. You touch people with grace, man. Well, on the way to the airport, Titus said he'd give me a ride. He didn't help me put my bags in the friggin' van or nothing.
I'm rude.
But you know, like the fortune cookie said, freaking nothing. I got no luck at all. So we'll make it though. We'll get there. So just at the airport here in Redmond, and I get in and you go through the line, and I got to take my shoes off and took my backpack off, And then I went through the line and did the x-ray deal and was putting my shoes back on. I was just waiting for my backpack. This guy says like, hey, when you're done over there tying your shoes, and it takes me a minute to tie my shoes because I'm bad at it. So he's like, when you're done doing that, why don't you go ahead and come over here and we'll talk about your backpack. And I was like, oh, dope. I love my backpack. I have lots to say about it. It's come with me a lot of places, you know? So I go over there and it's like, he more or less didn't really want to talk about it. He wanted to talk about like what was in it. And he was like, hey, did you pack this bag yourself? And I was like, yeah, dude. Like, I'm really good at like taking care of myself. So I was feeling like I was getting compliments, like I'd stored stuff in there efficiently. But no, he was like, hey, do you think you have anything sharp in here? And I was like, ooh, trick questions. Okay. I was like, it's possible. It's in the realm of possibility. And he was like, you think you like have maybe like a knife in here? And I was like, oh, like I really want to tell you no, but I feel like that's also a distinct possibility. And he's like, well, I can tell you right now you do. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you got me. And so he pulls it out and he's like, so, yeah, you can't have this. This isn't allowed. And I was like, oh, bummer. And then I tried to like do like the sympathy thing. I'm like, dude, my aunt Robin, she's a really nice lady and she bought that for me. And she's going to be heartbroken if I have to tell her that like you took it from me. And he was like, dude, I don't care about your Aunt Robin at all. You can't bring knives on the plane. And so I was like, oh, okay, try to. And I was like, dude, I went to Panda Express today and I didn't even get a fortune. Like I had a fortune cookie and there was no fortune in it, like I just told you guys about. And he didn't feel bad for me at all. He was like, it's still not coming on the plane. And I was like, gosh, darn it. And then he was like, hey, I have an idea. And I was like, I'm all ears. And he's like, I think the blade is removable on this knife because it's like a razor blade knife. And I was like, oh, you're right, it totally is. And then he was like, what if I take all the blades and then you can have the knife? And I'm like, compromise. I like it. So now I'm able to like get on the plane. So that's how that's going.
Where the Columbia River separates.
Salt Lake City. It's lit. Off the hook. About to get ready to go. Oh, before I tell you about my next flight, this last flight from Redmond to Salt Lake City, it was unreal, man. I got to sit next to this really cool lady. She was like, hey, you know what I like to do when we take off and it starts gaining elevation? I like to eat a lollipop. And I was like, dude, you're on my level. And then she was like, you know what's even cooler than that? And I'm like, what? She's like, I brought 2. Do you want my second one? And I was like, I don't know how to tell you this, gal, but we're basically best friends now. Like, you just gave me a lollipop. And then she was telling me, she's like, hey, my name is Gail. And I was like, my name's Jesse. And then she's like, where are you from? And I was like, totally irrelevant. Let's just say Redmond to make it easy. And she was like, oh, okay. And she's like, I'm from Wapaka, Wisconsin. And I was like, don't even know where that is. And she was like, it's totally fine, because since I'm from Wisconsin, that means I'm a really nice lady. And now I'm like socially obligated to tell you where I live. And I'm going to start giving you really, really specific, like, I'm going to start out with vague directions about where I am in relation to Green Bay. And then each time I tell you where I live, I'm going to be like really way more specific about it. And like, now I know there's a sailboat behind her barn. And I'm like, dude, we're friends now. I'm never going to forget you, Gail, from Wapaka, Wisconsin. So that was cool. Yeah. Airplane bathrooms. Super nice. Wish they were a little bit bigger though. Just a little bit. Also, this guy sat on my seat. And I was like, hey man, that's my seat. And he's like, they're all the same, aren't they? how numbers and letters work. Because mine says F19, and that's where you're sitting. And he was like, well, if anybody else tries to sit here, I'll get in the right seat. I'm like, all right, buddy. But I got my eye on you. Just landed in Kansas City. Did you know that Kansas City is called the City of Fountains? I didn't know that until I just read that just now. Now I gotta get an Uber ride to go down to Olathe. And that's gonna be like tens of dollars. Like 4 tens of dollars. Last time I took an Uber ride in Kansas City.
If any unknown person attempts to give you any item to transport on your flight, do not accept it and notify airport personnel. All carry-on and checked luggage is subject to search. Do not leave luggage unattended.
Did you catch all that? Bro, I need the caffeines. I need the caffeines bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go bigger. Lord forgive me. It's gonna be off the hook tonight. Hey, I made it back to my truck. Holy smokes, that was a lot of fun. Hey, I got this Uber ride from this real nice guy. Man, he was a cool dude. He told me all about what it's like to live in Overland Park, Kansas. And he almost had me sold for a minute, man. I was like real close to calling the old real estate agent or whatever and say, buy me some of that Overland Park. But then I remembered that it's Kansas, and then I was kind of like, you know, maybe not. So anyways, that was cool. Now I'm here. Now I get to do stuff with my truck. So, man, the day just keeps getting better, guys. Maybe I'm fortunate after all.